When you think of Hollywood royalty, you imagine elegance, talent, and admiration. But for Gwyneth Paltrow, things turned out very differently. To some, she's a visionary entrepreneur. To others, she's the most insufferable star in Hollywood. Over the years, some of the most powerful voices in entertainment, from Martha Stewart to Jennifer Lawrence, have taken aim at her. And their criticism wasn't just petty gossip. It revealed a bigger truth about Gwyneth's empire, her personality, and why so many celebrities simply cannot stand her. So today, we're diving into the 10 times Hollywood legends and insiders went to war with Gwyneth Paltrow, and what those battles say about the real woman behind the Goop empire. It all began in 1999. Gwyneth's Oscar win for Shakespeare in Love should have been her shining moment. But instead, it became the first major crack in her public image. Industry insiders whispered that the award rightfully belonged to Cate Blanchett for Elizabeth. And then came the speech, long, rambling, drenched in tears, and oddly specific thank yous to yoga instructors and chefs. It wasn't inspiring. It was pretentious. That night, Hollywood didn't just see a rising star. They saw a young woman already drowning in her own self-importance. Behind the cameras, things weren't much better. Stories circulated about her arriving late to sets, making diva-like demands, and treating assistants like personal servants. Even Marvel wasn't safe. She famously forgot she'd appeared in Spider-Man: Homecoming during an interview, shocking proof of just how disconnected she was from projects that paid her millions. In an industry built on collaboration, Gwyneth seemed to float above it all, as if acting was too small for her grand ambitions. But the real storm began when Gwyneth launched Goop, her luxury lifestyle brand. Suddenly, she wasn't just competing for acting roles. She was stepping into the lifestyle empire built by none other than Martha Stewart. In 2014, Stewart didn't hold back. In an interview, she dismissed Gwyneth's ambitions as shallow, suggesting she should just be quiet and focus on acting. Translation: stay in your lane, little girl. Stewart, a woman who had built her empire from scratch and rebuilt it even after prison, saw Gwyneth as a privileged amateur playing entrepreneur. And she wasn't afraid to say it. By 2019, Stewart doubled down, this time more diplomatically, calling Goop's business model passionless compared to authentic lifestyle brands. The subtle shade was brutal. Martha was basically saying Gwyneth was selling luxury nonsense without the skills or heart to back it up. Then came Gwyneth's infamous divorce announcement. Most celebrities announce splits with quiet dignity. Gwyneth? She consciously uncoupled from Coldplay's Chris Martin. And the internet never let her live it down. Comedy legend Joan Rivers roasted her relentlessly. For Rivers, this wasn't enlightenment. It was pure pretension. A divorce is a divorce, but Gwyneth had to rebrand it as a higher spiritual awakening, placing herself above everyone else. It was the first time the world saw what critics now call her superiority complex. If you thought the conscious uncoupling was bad, wait until the wellness products arrived. Goop began pushing vaginal steaming, jade eggs, and energy healing stickers. Enter Dr. Jennifer Gunter, a respected OBGYN who became Gwyneth's most dangerous enemy. Dr. Gunter exposed Goop's advice as not only unscientific but potentially harmful. Vaginal steaming, she explained, could actually burn women and disrupt natural health. Jade eggs? Porous rocks that could cause serious infections. Gwyneth wasn't offering wisdom. She was selling dangerous fantasies at luxury prices. And when prosecutors fined Goop $145,000 for false health claims, Gwyneth still doubled down, painting herself as the victim. But the critics didn't stop there. Timothy Caulfield, a professor of law and public health, launched a full academic assault in his book Is Gwyneth Paltrow Wrong About Everything? Spoiler alert, yes. He tested Goop's cleanses, diets, and treatments himself, documenting how useless, overpriced, and sometimes harmful they were. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was science versus pseudoscience. And the scientific world was winning. Even co-stars began turning on her. Leighton Meester, who once praised Gwyneth's sense of humor on Country Strong, later recoiled when asked about Goop's health claims. Vaginal steaming? She called it shocking and unnecessary. Bee sting therapy? She compared it to my strange addiction. For someone who had actually worked with Gwyneth, the disgust was real. It showed that even those close to her couldn't defend the empire she was building. If doctors and academics brought the science, late-night comedians brought the comedy. Stephen Colbert created a parody brand mocking Goop's nonsense, selling joke products that sounded almost identical to hers. James Corden went even further, transforming Gwyneth's Goop magazine cover into poop, live on air, while she stood right there. Instead of laughing with her, audiences were laughing at her. And the punchlines kept coming. But maybe the sharpest jab came from Jennifer Lawrence. While dating Chris Martin, she casually told Vanity Fair that gluten-free diets were just the new cool eating disorder. Fans instantly linked the comment to Gwyneth, who was famous for her strict gluten-free lifestyle. Jennifer's relaxed attitude toward food, pizza, burgers, whatever she wanted, was the exact opposite of Gwyneth's obsessive clean eating. And because Lawrence was younger, funnier, and box office gold at the time, her words carried weight. To the world, she wasn't just mocking diet culture. She was calling out Gwyneth's entire wellness philosophy as toxic. By 2025, Gwyneth had been criticized by business icons, doctors, scientists, comedians, co-stars, and even her ex's new girlfriend. The list kept growing. And how did she respond? Not with humility, not with reflection, but with profanity-laced rants at summits, telling critics to leave her alone. The wellness guru who preached mindfulness was now losing her temper in public. The woman who sold spiritual balance couldn't even balance her own reactions. And in that, her critics found the ultimate proof of what they'd been saying all along. Gwyneth Paltrow isn't enlightened. She's just another privileged celebrity selling expensive illusions to desperate fans. So what's the takeaway? Whether it was Martha Stewart protecting her empire, Joan Rivers exposing her pretension, Dr. Gunter saving women from dangerous advice, or Jennifer Lawrence mocking her food obsession, every critic had a point. And yet, Gwyneth Paltrow remains defiant, her Goop empire still thriving despite the backlash. Maybe that's the final twist. For all the hate, all the mockery, and all the scientific takedowns, she's still here. Still selling candles, diets, and spiritual awakenings. Love her or hate her, Gwyneth Paltrow has done something few in Hollywood ever manage. She's made herself unforgettable.